Hey everyone, I've got a troubleshooting guide for a common problem that happens to the Zero. Occasionally you'll get a knife that gets some debris in it and it'll exhibit this kind of behavior where you push the blade out, it stays out, but at the slightest touch it pops back in automatically even though you're not hitting the retract movement. And I'll show you what's going on, why it's happening, and how to fix it. So what's happening here is there's a piece of debris that has gotten into the internal mechanism and is preventing the key from fully seating. So let's take this knife apart and see what the problem is. So you hold the blade, pull back on the lid, and then slide the lid off. Sometimes it kind of needs to work its way off a little bit. I'm going to hold down on the carriage. Whenever you take the blade out, always hold down on the carriage. Pop the blade off and let's take a look. If you can see right here, I'm going to point to it with my little pointer here. There is something right there trapped. If you look, I'm pushing this carriage forward, but that key is not pushed in. It's not engaging the pocket right there. I'm going to push hard and it's not really engaging. If I pull back, that pretty much instantly lets the key pop out of place. If we tilt this a little bit, you can see, I've simulated this because I threw a piece of debris in here. This is actually a metal chip from our manufacturing process, but this is a common problem that we have because we all have metal chips in our pockets around here. So what this is just a metal chip that's getting in there, and it's right there, and it's just thick enough to prevent this carriage from going all the way forward. So you can go forward enough to almost hold it out, but as soon as you touch it, it pops back. So the fix is you just get rid of the debris. I'm gonna knock that out. There's the piece that came out. Just a little piece of metal, just thick enough to cause that problem. So now when I push this forward, that key can go all the way in to its little seat there, and now it's jammed. You can pull on that all you want, it's not gonna go back unless you tear the metal. So now put the lid back on, back to normal operation, and now I can push on that blade as hard as I want, and it ain't going back in until I pull the retract movement. Now that's a real common problem, and you can do this in the field. If it gets to where it's not want to work right, you can just open it up, make sure you hold on to that blade, that carriage real good when you pull the blade. You can use the blade as a tool. Just slide it in there and pop that key back a little bit. Gently let that carriage come back to a resting position. And you can use your blade to just scrape out junk. You want to be looking at the two key areas. You want this area right here, and obviously the corresponding face of it may get stuck to the carriage. And then your other area you want to be looking at is right in here where the key sits. Sometimes you can get a piece of debris in there, and even though the carriage can move forward far enough, the key can't fall into that pocket if there's something stopping it. So that's a big area to look for. That's a really common problem that we experience here. It's just part of our routine every 3 or 4 weeks. If I see it happen every 3 or 4 weeks. If I keep it in my pocket a lot and I got a lot of other stuff in my pocket, I'll have to clear a little piece of a metal chip or some pocket lint out, and it'll fix the operation. One other thing that happens is sometimes people will say that, and it happens to us too, but the retraction will be slow or doesn't happen very well, or you pull back on the lid and the knife doesn't actually retract. You have to pull it back a couple of times and all of a sudden it'll retract. That typically is a lubrication problem. Just make sure you've got a little bit of these things do need lubrication every once in a while. They dry out. We use KPL when we assemble them, but any lightweight oil, gun oil, knife oil, mineral oil will work. Even WD-40. Sometimes, if I'm in a hurry, I'll just hose the thing out with WD-40 and then use an air hose and just blow it out. Don't even take it apart, and that seems to restore function pretty nicely and get rid of debris. Those are the two most common problems that we see. This is it's unfortunate, but it is it's a lot of tight tolerances in here, so sometimes a little piece of debris can really screw you up. But it's an easy fix, easy to do in the field. if you get something stuck, just that quick. If you guys have any problems, you can always send us an email. Thank you.